Hocam, you can start.
Firstly, I would like to welcome dear guests, dear students, dear faculty members. This is the 5th of our ArchiDesign Talks meeting, and we have a distinguished guest tonight, Defne Koz. I would like to give some background information about her. Firstly, then I will leave the screen to her. Born in Ankara, Defne Koz graduated from TED Ankara College and also from Middle East Technical University. In 1989, she went to study at Domus Academy Industrial Design Department, and she worked with Professor Alberto Mead for her master's project. Industrial designer Defne Koz works in Milan and Chicago. She focuses on electronics, furniture, urban furniture, home accessories, lighting systems, desktop product, and home and office interior design. Her clients include Pirelli, Alessi, Fontana Arte, Replastic, Egizia, Foscarini, Capellini, Progetto, Oggetto, Guzzini, Steel, RSVP, Gabbianelli, sorry for my bad Italian, Rapselnito, and Mobilefe based in Italy, Authentics, WMF and Rosenthal based in Germany, Sharp, Nissan and Casio based in Japan, and Alparda, Nurius, Decorium, MPD and Eczacıbaşı based in Turkey. In 1994, Koz worked as an assistant to Michel Delucci during the office seminar and workshop at Domus Academy in Milan. The same year, she participated in the Craftsman Qualities and Industrial Production Seminar with Koz Susani at Istanbul Technical University. She attended the Cast for Design in Turkey conference organized by Cultural Forum for the Arts at the Architectural Association, London, and the Craftsman Qualities and Industrial Production Seminar, and workshop organized by Mitsubishi Corporation in Fukui, Japan in 1996. In 1998, Koz was speaker at the Future of Design panel and was a jury member in the 3 competitions at the Designers Odyssey Symposium. He also attended the seminar and workshop at Centro Borges de Buenos Aires, Argentina in 1999. She founded Defne Koz Design Studio in Milan and then Koz Susani Design in Chicago with Marco Susani. Her design line is influenced by her training in Ettore Sozza's studio in Milan, the combination of Turkish and Italian culture. Together with her partner, Marco Susani, she designs iconic, emotionally appealing, and innovative products and experiences. I would like to thank Defne Koz to accept our invitation to give this speech. So the screen is yours, Defne.
Thank you, Elchin. Well, thanks for your invite. And I just wanted to correct one thing when you were introducing me. I have studied in Ankara University, Italian language and literature. And after that, actually, I did do a 1 semester studio classes in METÜ. I did not graduate from METÜ. So that was an amazing experience for me. And with that, actually, I profounded my studies, and then I did go to Italy. So there is something that I wanted to correct, and that's it. Well, thank you very much, and it is very nice to be with you together. So while we were talking with Murad, I was mentioning maybe in a title like Design Around Humans would explain how I do design, how I understand design. So that's is going to be our title, but then I will explore even more about this title and surrounding what is going on about the humans. So this is me, and I am designer. I always loved traveling, but I love real or metaphoric, I mean physical or intellectual. I always loved journeys at the discovery of something, anything new and interesting, or something that I have that maybe that have existed for centuries and may serve as an inspiration, which is fundamental for me. Then I began to travel for work, which was, of course, fantastic to discover the world through my clients and through the factories that I was visiting, and that was very enriching my understanding and my doing design. I have to say I never liked the boundaries, and that was making me feel even more flying in the clouds. So that also helped me to build a good amount of the clients that helped me to understand the cultures and the way of working differently with these cultures. And right now I am living in Chicago, where my studio is based. Actually, I can tell that actually before COVID, I was able to say that I live between Chicago, Istanbul, Milano, because I have many clients around there. But for the moment, I can just say that I live only in Chicago. So I am co-founder of Koz Susani Design with, as you were mentioning, with Marco Susani, who is also my husband, and we design and develop products and experiences. We design products, product design, from product design to interaction design, from crafts to high-tech products, always focusing on high quality design that embraces vision and innovation, but that innovation is always preserving human and emotional qualities. As I was saying, and this could show you that we are global, based in Chicago again, and working for international clients in US, Europe, Asia, but we are rooted in our Italian and Turkish design cultures. So being designer, and I experienced different ways to look at innovation, and I am a designer, and I design what is around us, and designing around humans, which is again my title, means before designing, I need to understand what happens between people and objects, between people, objects, and spaces, and then to imagine how this relationship could acquire a new and maybe a better meaning for users. This is how I begin to design, and designing to me, designing around humans to me is designing the way we sit rather than the chair. So it starts from envisioning an action and then the experience rather than an object. So to achieve all this, we do not focus directly on objects, but on their relationship with people. So that makes us kind of experts for experts that, let's say, I can say that we designers are human experts. So we, then I say, we human experts' job is to invent the future, to imagine the visions for the future, to imagine the future lives. And because every product we design is a story about how people may be living in the future, a story how life may change when you're surrounded by new objects and new spaces, and it's a journey in a possible future. So it is the future what we are designing. It is new. So I deal with innovation every single day in my job. So this is, I would like to talk about a little bit with the differentiations of the cultures. And since I was telling about inventing the future, I can tell that I've been working with these three countries mainly, and that means three cultures. And I have some experiences how these countries are understanding through working around the innovation. The United States, for instance, that they don't have a tradition of craft. So they think innovation is just about inventing the future from scratch. And actually this model works for them quite well. While other cultures, like in Europe, for example, in Italy, and I find very much of the similarities also in Turkey. The innovation is built as a continuity of the tradition, and that the starting point of these type of innovations are the crafts, the skills that people have, the skills that workers and companies build for many centuries in some cases, that just so that just need to be directed in a slightly different tradition when it is evolving in its design process. So this is where, in my opinion, the seed of our innovation, being Turkish, could come. And oh, can you see the entire image right now? Sorry, I think I was.
We can see.
Okay.
Yes.
So here, I love these images, and I always mention these because these are the photos taken in my country, and where I always find very much of the similarities with what I see and what I feel. So this is to me a modern manufacturing plant, or this is to me is just-in-time production, or this is an automated factory. And we can say that this is the automatic vending machine for soft drinks in the city, or like exclusive textiles that we love to have, and embroidery for the home. So these are the companies that can be created, such as Missoni, Frette, or Ralph Lauren, or many others. And which I love this one, which is to me is almost a perfect corporate identity and signage system for shoe shop, a chain shoe shop. So I can say that these are, I mean, this is how we can define the innovation and its connection to reality. So it is based on the culture of making, but also in the culture of use. But I think there is even more when we add the designer. So the innovation, to me, should be based on in our case especially, which we have an amazingly rich background. So in this case, the innovation should be based on the crafts of the past, but it needs to move in the next century. So how can we balance the presence of the past and the drive to the future and drive to the future? So I wanted to show some examples of how design can help taking an old craft and transform it into the industrial design innovation, let's say. So these are different type of innovations, because here again is maybe more important the way of making, the way of doing, the way of studying the material itself and the tradition. So here are some examples of glass that I worked with Paşabahçe, and this is the glass series, and where I feel that the glass, for instance, after having studied with many companies in glass, I felt truly that it is not transparent. So glass is not invisible. It is very rich and it is mysterious, and you can perceive it differently every time. So the reflection that it creates, or the refraction that it creates, and the translucency and the colors that are changing, and so the fade is something that you can create, or the softness that you can give to the glass. Again, the colors, or like the textures. So this is how actually I feel that we can, as a designer, enrich while we are working with the materials and with the people who really know how to work with the materials. So to give you more examples, actually, many of my design projects are in Italy, and these are some companies that these are some projects that I can share with you, where I have the same transfer of know-how from craft to industrial innovation, industrial production. And the other thing that we can talk about this is how important is it is not only in Italy, also, sorry, it is not, it is not only in Italy, also in Turkey, but the industrial, the Italian industry is very rooted in districts, like these glasses from Murano, for instance. Then they work, you know, the best companies in Italy are, the glass companies are based in Murano, and that is something I find very important. And these are the companies that are very global, and they so the craftsmanship over there is amazing to work with these people, but they don't work there on their own, but they work with designers to make this more global and to make this craftsmanship more contemporary. So in all these things, actually, I didn't mention, but in all of these, we really, as designers, which is, I think, always like this, but we always push the boundaries of the production and to obtain very big, for instance, in this case, very big sizes of the glass, mouth-blown glasses are, at the beginning was not a possibility, but then we together developed some techniques or, you know, slightly different way of using the glass, and we obtain what we would like to gain. So these are, again, I mean, the examples of how districts are supporting this transformation is very important, because in many of these cases, the environment and the location facilitates the move from craft to, again, to a mass production products. So what can be done to explore glass? This is what we do, and the details that we can create in many of these projects are always to give a kind of magic sensation to the end user. So I'm always curious and continue to explore to have some ideas for what comes next. So knowing the technology will add even more possibilities, and knowing that people's taste will get more and more sophisticated, and we will be able to appreciate even more sophisticated sensations, and we will be looking more for the surprises. We will want to discover even more magic materials, magic in the materials. So this is...
Sorry, Defne. I'm sorry for interruption, but we are seeing only the half of the images, not full of the images.
Sorry. I think okay.
I'm sorry again.
Oh, okay. No problem. So we missed few details here, but that's fine. So let me talk about the ceramic tiles in that I work with, again, Turkish companies, and here the reference for me is our ancient tradition of İznik tiles, and this is very, of course, very, very precious, and that are characterized by a quite thick layer of quartz. And this is why, because the quartz is perfect to create the tile, very resistant to be able to use in outdoors and in the facades of the buildings that we have. So I wanted to make a contemporary interpretation using the glass as a tile, and I used from, you know, like I used, because let's say in that way, that to be able to use an İznik tile today, I believe, well, back then when I visited İznik, which is in 2007, I believe, 8 or something like that, and one tile was costing $25, and huge of elaboration, like 48 hours or something. It was an amazing production to watch it, actually. So I wanted to have that feeling when you touch an Iznik tile. You feel the softness of the. It is strange to say, call it softness, but you feel it as a soft material, even if it is completely hard material. So I wanted to create that feeling, and I did want to work in glass. The reason because is you can work in different layers to create the effect of the 3-dimension. So the effect of depth to me is very important, and that enriches actually the feeling, and then it is not becoming something decorative, but it gives you a further feeling. So which is, I believe, very important, and I always try to achieve that. And then I began to work with the same company. Actually, we created many collections, and in this case, this is another collection, and this is about the. As I was telling you, it is so nice to feel the depth of the product. But in the first one, it was a 2-dimensional product, and the depth was given with using several facades of the tile. And here is about not only the 2 layers, 2 dimensions, or 3 dimensions, but actually, let's say even the 4th dimension. I will tell you why. Because I designed to create again also here a sense of depth, and give the sensation of the 4th dimension, which is the one of the time and the movement. So in this project also I used also glass, but not only glass. There was also the porcelain, and I tried to use the double and triple layering of the graphics with the glass, and then the geometries to give the sensation. And the dimension is, let's say, created by the illusion, kind of, especially when you were able to overlap. Here it is very difficult to give the sensation, actually, I have to say, but it was very nice to see these depth of the material, especially when you were moving. And the result of this one was the surfaces that they were vibrating, and the colors with depth and warm, because usually the ceramics are dead, and it is that their visual coldness is given by, of course, the hard reflection of their surfaces. So I tried to change that one over there. Let me, okay, let's talk about this one quickly too, which is a flooring company that I did create this, and this is the laminate flooring. And if you consider that it is a quite cheap way, I mean, cheap, it is not the right way to say, but it is and not very high quality material, if you would like to say, because usually how it is done is you photocopy the grains of the wood, and then you apply to an engineered base. So I don't like fake things, so I prefer to do to create my own tree, and so that's why we created a program and in computer. So we wanted to create a tree that is not existing. So that is, of course, an artificial grain, which looks like, okay, a natural one, but that is not existing. This is what we have also studied a lot before doing these graphics. So it was definitely very interesting to work with this company and to see actually how difficult it is to obtain a perfectness, even though it looks like a very easy way of production. It was pretty amazing, and the factory was really beautiful. So another thing that I would like to discuss is when we work with the companies, we prefer to work from A to Z. So we wanted to create also with them, this company is called AGT, and we wanted to create for them not only these two collections, Spark and Bliss, I believe. So we also wanted to create the graphics of the collection and how it is going to be exhibited, how they should be photographed and everything. This is why we actually are getting happy when they are launched in the way that we like to be done. So another material which is very natural in this case, which is the marble, and we this is an Italian, I mean, this is not the company, but the company we worked with is Italian for this marble collection, where we, again, I think my desire, my passion for giving the depth to the materials is coming out also here. So I wanted to achieve, first of all, understand how do they work, of course, and after understanding, what I would like to do is to make differences in the way of their working, always respecting their know-how. So we have done a collection called Profondo, which means deep. So these are the marble wall covering systems. And so this is where I really enjoy working with the craftsmen and the high technologies to obtain these depths. And this is another company. Okay, so you're practically seeing the half of the, okay. This is another company, and it is called Acto. For them also, we worked in the marble tiling, and what we wanted to create is the, probably it's very difficult to see here, but maybe here you can see it. We wanted to work on the surface of the material, not only also creating some very basic geometries, but the feeling of them is very different when you touch it, when you walk on it, when you see them. So while I was talking with the previous experience of the AGT, and we love to work as like 360 degrees of the all the phases of the design process, this is another company that I would like to mention, and the project that we have done. It is Mitai Tai, and it is a German company. And when they came to us, it was 190 years old company. So that was in 2012. Anyway, so they are marvelous in working in porcelain, and what they asked us to design a new collection. But the problem was that they are doing very beautiful objects, but very classic. So what we have said, you know, like it wouldn't work, our collaboration with you. Therefore, we said, well, either we do create a sub-brand, which we did at the end, or we cannot work with. And as a designer, you really have to be conscious of that, because otherwise all the products that you do wouldn't fit, and they wouldn't be able to communicate, to market your products in their product range, and it wouldn't be very beneficial for both of you. So in this case, we have designed many products for them, around 170 or maybe more, actually, because every year we added new collections. And what we have done was also here, not only to create their products, but also we wanted to create the philosophy of the company itself. So how we would like to communicate these productions with the end users. So how is going to be their photography, how it should be their stands in the exhibitions, and so on. But the main thing for me was, while I was studying the dinnerware, for me is to, as a designer, I know that I should not be very shouting out loud with my designs, because here the most important thing is the food. So the food should be the main protagonist, and our plates are supposed to be just the platforms that they are going to be exhibited or performed. And so we have worked with many chefs and many maîtres, and we have, sorry, there are some workers in the background, so you will hear some noises. I'm sorry about that. In the building. So so in many cases, we understood that all the chefs, not all of them, but all of them have different approaches to their plates. And in some, they really don't want to have any rim around, because they say, I need more space to exhibit my my food. And some, they say, no, I really would like to have a perfect frame around my food. So it was very interesting to listen to them and then create these collections. And of course, the most important part was how they are served to the people in the restaurants or at your home, to your parents and your friends. So it is, again, a big collection, and we did the websites and the graphics and the logo, which is the 1400, which means actually the temperature that this kind of porcelain was cooked, not cooked, how do they say, fired. And we did these 3 collections, and then we exhibited and this company then was bought by Turkish company, which is called Kütahya Porcelain, which is the #1 of production in porcelain. As the how big they are, it is an amazing company, and we continue to add to this collection every year. And just before the pandemic, we were during Salone del Mobile exhibiting the company itself with its product, because it became very unique in Palazzo Litta, which is one of the most beautiful palaces in Milan, during Salone del Mobile. So again, I will pass this quickly, but this is something that also I would like to mention because of creating a sub-brand in the company, how different and how effective, and also working with the material, how is gorgeous. So in this case, actually, what I would like to mention is the foglia is meaning leaf in Italian, because we wanted to create very thin surfaces, which is very difficult to obtain in porcelain. If you use resin or similar components, it is easier, but if you would like to obtain with porcelain, it is not easy. So we also push the manufacturers here to obtain the best, and the result was pretty amazing. The reason we wanted to have was not to create the the geometries that are very important, but they are the surfaces that they are holding the water, let's say in that way. And that's why it is called actually leaf. So very thin surfaces. And so where we worked also for the entire collection. Also here is around 90 pieces, I believe. And these are the facets and the packaging. And so, which I believe the result is coming out way complete when it is taken in hands of, when it is given in hands of the designer who understands the branding, who understands the kind of marketing, even though we are not marketing people, but we know how to work with the marketing people, and we are not graphic designers, but we are understanding very well the graphic design or the visual communication, and also understanding the strategies, how and where they should be sold. Going a little further, and then this is another example that I would like to mention because of the districts that we were talking about at the beginning with the Murano, and in Italy also this is very common. I mean, the metal workers are in certain areas and the glass workers are in certain areas, and so, and this is a company called Alessi, and for them I have done few products, and where I worked with the very, let's say, this is when Alberto Alessi himself, when he came to my office, he asked me to do designs for with this material, which is the very thin wires, metal stainless steel wires. And he was telling me that his uncle, back in, I don't remember now, maybe in 40s, he designed these bread baskets in wires, and he said, would you be able to do something like that? And I said, this is very difficult because the material itself is very cheap. But then if you study again very well the material, then you understand what you would like to obtain. And over there, to my opinion, to give a certain quality to this material, I wanted to create from this thin, almost bidimensional material, I wanted to create volumes that were giving the richness of the material itself. So these were the I think they were called Nest, I think, products. And then with them, we have done another centerpiece or fruit bowl or bread basket, however you would like to use. In this case, it was completely the opposite because it is a pure solid stainless steel, where I wanted to create, again, the strange sensation of giving a depth or like the vibration. So I worked with them how to be able to do this in several ways, actually, and this is the result of one of them. And like the well, actually, this was supposed to be used in the I was supposed to show you this in another section of the presentation, but since it is here, I can tell. I also study a lot the way of use, as we were saying at the beginning, and the candle holders back in time when there was no electricity, they are, of course, everyday use objects, and the way of carrying the candle holder is very important. So this is the kind of reinterpretation of that one. And if you are going back to make the way of doing the culture of the of making, it is not a craftsman work. It is completely the opposite. But this is a hinge, and since I love this project, I wanted to show this. So the company, a Turkish company who is the one of the best in world in their production range, because they do these hinges in very high quality, and so they asked us to design hinges. And the hinges, to create a hinge is very difficult, even though it is a very small item, because there are, I believe, if I'm not wrong, like maybe I'm wrong, but kind of like 14 different molds that they are supposed to do, and it takes time. So we actually presented beautiful hinges, but there was a time restriction, and our client was supposed to be in, I forgot the name of the exhibition in Germany, which is the, I forgot, the most important of their sector of their, like the production. So then we said, what I don't like is that I see all these gorgeous furniture, beautiful, amazing work with the wood, amazing work with the finishing, and craftsman is amazing. And then you open them, you see all the guts. And I really didn't like that. So we said, even if it is a very high quality brand, I really don't like to see this because it is ruining the beauty of the object. So there is one thing that innovating the products have different ways of doing. So in some cases you can work with the materials. In some cases you can just make it beautiful. In some cases you can create a new typology, a new way of using. And in this case, in this project, I believe, did both, and we that's why actually we got very nice awards for this one. Because there is keeping the beauty of the furniture also in the main elements that you have to build that furniture. And we practically covered with the material which is soft, and it is it is following the gesture of the product itself. And you can hide it, you can make it more accented, and so it's a project that I really liked very much. And with them, we also, okay, this is another way of innovation, I can say, because when we continued to work with them, Summit is the company, they asked us to do these door, I don't remember the category name, but you know, like these are the upper doors of the kitchens, and you need to use these very tough hinges. And when we were studying the rival companies' products were almost like machine guns. I mean, they were like very big, huge, very thick. And well, we said it is better not to do if we have to do like this, or if we can completely decompose and rebuild the inner part of this this object. So, and the engineers were saying, oh, no, you cannot make it less than 4 centimeters and whatever. But then we designers are sometimes very persistent, and we we are very stubborn, and we know that we can do it. So we insisted, and we created a very nice object, I believe, which is like not only the half size of the thickness, but also definitely half size of also its length, and as well of the height. So okay, let's talk about the culture of use, and let's keep going faster maybe. And this is something that I would like to talk about quickly, which is very important to me. And this is something that I, again, will go back to the beginning of this conversation when I was talking about the observing people, and is the beginning of my designing. And in this case, when I was briefed by Unilever for Lipton, I said this is one of the very difficult projects as well, because it is an icon for our culture, and touching the icons is very difficult, and it is very responsible. So so when I design a cup, if it is coffee cup or tea cup, whatever, glass, and I think that maybe the design of its handle is the design of a gentle or rude gesture. So again, when I'm observing these people, I see so many different ways of using. And in this case, I observed kids running to bring like teacups in one tray and showing off their abilities when they are sneaking around among the running cars in Istanbul without spilling a single drop of tea. So again, I mean, this is again very iconic, and it is very populated in our culture, and it is and it has been used for centuries. So but I wanted to have an updated contemporary design for it. So to make it this a new icon, for the modern metropolitan consumers. And my design, I believe, respects the traditional shape, the traditional materials, but without any retro reference. And it is refreshed, I believe it is refreshed icon for the new modern contemporary of Turkish style. And it is still curved and gentle, yet it is very easy to handle. It is more pure and more, maybe even more geometric. And the large base is a perfect connection, and it holds very well, and you can make almost 45 degrees without falling, making fall the glass. So the saucer is very important here as well. And it is, in a way, as I was saying, it is a large one because, to my opinion, it is celebrating what is on it, which is the tea, which is very important for our culture. So, and then we began to design for them other products. And also here I study how it should be used. The, you know, these, in this case, it is not for the traditional black tea, but it is for the herbal teas. And so you put the, I don't know if I don't have the here any thing that shows it, but you put the tea bag here, and then once you are done, actually you take the tea bag and put on the lid itself, which is becoming a tray for the tea bag. So the result of this thing, and I just wanted to tell this, how a designer can be very impactful in a company, even if it is a very big, large corporate like Unilever. The success of this glass came out with the consumption of the amount of these glasses. So they sold in practically, they consumed the entire stock of them instead of 1 year, in 3 months, something like that. And then with the success of this, they said, they means Unilever, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that this is a promotional item. So if you were going to buy 1 kilogram of tea, and this tea was coming, this tea glass was becoming your gift. After 3 months of the success, they said, okay, we are just doing a box of 6 tea glasses, and we are going to sell that. Meaning the entire Unilever history, I think this has never happened. They began to sell the glasses without their product itself. And this is a true story. And then they were warned by the headquarters, and they went back to the promotional item, and that made the sales of the tea 33% of increasement for their tea product. So that is a very nice example how just one product can be very impactful on a corporate. Another product that I would like to mention, this is, one was a mass production and the other one is almost one-off, which is the Turkish Delight plates for serving. And here, to my opinion, again, one of the food that is related to our tradition, And I always love to mention this because it is something that is reminding not only our youth, but also of being together during the Bayram, during the festivities and so. And I thought it is not correct to put all these lokums, the Turkish delights, all together in one cup and serve it, because there is a lot in that small cube, and it deserves to be treated better. So I created this almost altaric plate, and there's a golden treat on it, and gold leaf treatment on it, and it should be deserved. It should be served in more sophisticated way. So this is what I designed for them. So this is another thing that I like very much, is again the culture of use in our traditional houses. Okay, this is the palace of Topkapı Palace, but in also our traditional houses, we see some examples of how we were sitting. And I designed this as a new way of using the way of sitting against walls. So this is a system that you can practically create the same room with a new contemporary product. Another thing that I like is how I study the people. When I was saying, you know, the way of let's say, instead of doing the project itself, we would like to study how people are sitting. And this is one of them, because this is mainly designated for the common spaces, which can be the offices or like the more like hotels. And so what we do is, in these places, we are not only sitting, but we are working, we are with our friends, and we are with our clients, and we use tablets, computers, and this is how we work. And in the system, you can create many compositions, of course, but the main thing actually that I wanted to show is this, where you study many ways of sitting and then creating ways of sitting with the product itself. Okay, so it has nothing to do, but another important thing so to me is to create the I mean, not to create, but also the companies have to have a vision. So Enel, in this case, is the largest energy provider in Europe. And so they built the vision of renewable energy and the car electrification. So for them, we designed their design strategy, and with all the chargers, like they are small and large, for home, for streets, for highway, for car racing, electrical car racing, electrical motorbike racing, and so. And we realized that the future can become our present. Of course, here we have studied the user interface, the components and the products, and how it will be situated in a city, in a modern city or in an ancient city. So we studied the materials, and of course you will see it with the applications of many many cars and different again uses in house or no, and also different markets, how it will be used, single use, mono use, again they are the same anyways, but for the big places. And so, and this is how it was launched, and this is actually a few days ago it came out, this, which I think it is nice to feel as a designer that you are making part of
electricity. You can explore
the future.
a new way of living your home, city, company, and experiencing a new mobility. The extreme is to make it possible. And that is what we do every day, without ever stopping to look ahead. For a more sustainable tomorrow, make opportunities happen.
So as a conclusion, to me, let's say the recipe for innovative design has 4 elements. That is, the one is the crafts, especially if you are coming from a very rich culture. So keep crafts alive and support old crafts, keep them alive, help young people learn them and leverage them to build the industrial innovation in a district. And from these roots, build the industrial know-how, protect it with patents maybe, and with a strong regional ecosystem, and then support this local ecosystem with all parts of the process needed, which is like the creativity, design, branding, prototyping, manufacturing. Build strong consumer brands around this combination and in industrial innovation. So, well, thank you. I think I spoke too much, but I am concluding here my presentation.
Thank you very much, Defne. It's really a great joy to listen to the projects that you developed. So maybe we can accept some questions if there are any from the students and maybe from the faculty members. We're expecting, if you have questions, we can ask them to. Okay, as a start, maybe I can ask a question first. Well, you talked about making, and you talked about the role of the user as well in that tradition of making. What do you think about the pros and cons of losing the interaction between the user and the craftsman after the industrial production? How can a designer handle it?
So that is the thing, actually, it is very important to me. And again, we have to be very responsible. And I know that in Turkey, for instance, there are some designers that are very good in reactivating the craftsmanship. And I have huge respect for these people. So because we have that and we have this source, and it is very rich, and once we lose it, we cannot gain it back, because it will be it will be a disaster if you lose it, because that means, you know, like we are getting very angry when the construction companies are getting in ancient places and they build it, their projects over there, and of course we are unhappy with these results. But from our side, we have to think that if we lose our tradition, it will be as dangerous or unhappy results for ourselves as well. So it is a designer's responsibility to study them very well. Again, to make the young people to collaborate with them and bring their know-how into the industrial design. And I believe they can be the consultants for these companies, because I mean, the designer can be a bridge between the industry and the craftsman, either making a small production for them, you know, that make it them continuing to work, or bringing their knowledge and giving the all respect to them and making their consultant to these companies, because it is something that, again, I mean, this is unfortunately, for instance, what is happening in Italy for Murano, that there is not anymore the, I mean, artigiani. There are not anymore these people who are working with glass, and the companies are almost preferring to go with the borosilicate. And I mean, this is like how things are changing, and once it is lost, it is gone. It's a pity.
Thank you, Defne. And Mehmet Hocam, yes?
I would like to add a few words to your introduction of Defne Hanım. Because I guess that I see there are 80 people in the meeting. Most of them are students, and I guess that many of them, after seeing all these works, many of them are at the point envying Defne Hanım, that, oh, how nice it is doing such beautiful designs, such successful designs, etc. And then, will I be able to do such a thing in the future? This is a way ahead of me. I will say that I had a very similar experience when I was a student. When I was a student in the architecture department, with my friends, we used to go to a certain showroom in Kavaklıdere and look at the furniture in behind the glass. We never had the courage to go into the showroom. And these were all very good modernist designs that we were part of this school. So that showroom belonged to Defne Hanım's father, Avni Koz.
Azmi.
And he had such a big impact on us. And I believe that Defne Hanım will have a similar impact on our students.
You honored me. Well, thank you very much, Mehmet Bey. I can cry. It is very thoughtful of mentioning this story, and I have to say, my parents, both my mom and father, who are who have studied at the Mimar Sinan Teknik Üniversitesi, and they became interior architects, and they were they began to manufacture one of the first contemporary furniture in Turkey back in '58. So, of course, seeing them and understanding the quality of the design and quality of touching and awakening the senses has always been very important for me as well. So I took them as role model, as maybe it was impactful for you as well. And I hope I can evoke some senses in young generation as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
May I ask a question, Defne? I understand, as you said from your presentation. First of all, I'm very grateful for this presentation. It's very inspiring. So you said that you are not designing the object itself, but you are designing the relationship between human and the interior or the environment, whatever. So you are saying that you are designing actually the experience of the user. So we may consider the designer as a script writer, and from the seeing of the object from the shelf to using the end of the using, there's a temporality, and you are considering every moment in this temporality, isn't it?
Correct. So I believe I mean, a designer is a storyteller, and we have many stories to tell. And there are very different ways of telling the stories. So that would make the identity of the designer as well. And again, as you were saying, and as I was mentioning before, I envision the people. I imagine. I mean, practically, my job is beginning with imagination, well, which is not bad, and so I begin to create a story around in my imagination, and then I study to put this into the reality. So I study the people and how my imagination would work in the real life. And then I begin to design the product itself. So yes, this is how I do design. And I believe, you know, like, again, there are so many ways of telling the stories. And to me, design is not a problem solving, as many people would think. I have huge respect to that, but for me is more awakening the senses through a story.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking me.
So the second level of my question is that you are imagining something. You are imagining the future, included the people also, but only the imagining cannot work itself by only imagining. So you need know-how also, isn't it? You are collecting the know-how from the T0 time to the end of the using time. So yes, you should work with some experts, some engineers or the producers, and you are always collecting and you are pursuing the information also, isn't it? You are chasing the information.
You have to. So I think being designer is a very difficult job. I mean, more I work, more I realize it is becoming more difficult, but I actually have to say it is becoming more rich and rich in sense of you learn a lot and it makes you very happy. So of course, as you're saying, I mean, and also in my career, and I hope I would continue to be able to work in that way, working with different industries, with different cultures. So not only with different industries, from electrical car charging systems to teacups. And in each of them, there is so many things to learn, not only the material stuff, not only how do they manufacture, not only the capabilities that they have, not only how much money they can invest, so how you can change your idea according to their sources, not only in which market they would like to sell, so how your idea could fit to this market, that market. So it is a continuous learning. In this case, of course, and actually what is very nice for designers is to be able to work with different disciplines. Practically in every project, we learn from our clients, first of all, and then to be able to do the project and to be able to make it real, we become, let's say, experts of what we are doing. Again, we have to know how that works. We have to know the material. We have to know our boundaries, and we have to know how much we can push the boundaries, because if we always accept the boundaries, then we are in a kind of loop. So we have to know the language of pushing our clients to make differences. And so anyways, but the nice thing is that you learn to co-work with different disciplines. And from engineers that are, of course, perfect in what they are doing, to the, I mean, for the, let's say the engineers for the components, but then there are the engineers for recycling, and then there are the people who are working for the CMF, and then there are the people that would make it, let's say, launch the product. So that, I mean, it is a continuous learning. So practically, this is something that I really enjoy doing that, and it enriches me a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any more questions? Okay, I think we don't have any more questions. So this is the end of our meeting.
There's a question in the chat box, I think.
I didn't see it. Let me see. Okay. Fatih Ertem wrote into the chat box. Thank you, Hocam. Firstly, you gave to us this opportunity, and thank you so much, of course, dear Koz. I would like to ask some personal question. What was the source of you and your project you did when you feel yourself so unsuccessful?
I didn't have that moment yet. Literally, I think it is, I believe the most important thing that you have to believe in yourself, and there you can be more productive. And once you find yourself, and once you find your identity, and once you know who you are, which is not something that you do and finish is it is there, but you continue to learn yourself. But anyways, then you have your identity, and you know you can communicate this with other people as you do with your friends. I mean, why your friends are choosing you? Because you are different than Ahmet Mehmet. So that is why you have your friends are choosing you. And the communication in this case of the friendship, it will be only on the words. And in my case, my communication is not only in my words, but it is in my design. So I never have done any project that I didn't believe in. I have to say, it sounds strange, but I really love what I did so far, and I cannot say I can criticize what I, maybe I think there's one project that I really am unhappy, which I can mention which one is that. But besides that, I am very happy with what I was able to deliver. You may like it, you may not like it, but I liked it. I believed in it, and my client was happy at the end. So one product that I discovered actually recently, this is a project that I have done in 2000, and it is one piece of the 12 glasses, and those were the glasses liquids collection that I have done for Gaia&Gino. With that, actually, a company was born, which was the Gaia&Gino, with that collection, and that collection has been awarded, and it has been in the museum collections, it has been in all the design stores in the world, and so. But one of them has a defect, and actually it is that glass is for champagne, and you have to celebrate with that glass. And I wish I could have shown you right now which one is that, but that champagne glass, I didn't calculate the after drinking. It is very tall, okay? And after drinking, when you put it back, I mean, when you move the glass back in the vertical position, if there's a certain amount of liquid inside, it makes splash. So it is not only that you are celebrating with that small amount of champagne, but it splashes on your face. So it is very wrong, and I I can say that after 20 years I discovered that, and so I wouldn't do that one, for instance.
You have to drink all of them, isn't it?
Yes, that is the point.
Solution. Best solution ever.
Thank you for understanding and comforting me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you all. And I think I spoke a lot, but I hope I didn't.
It was a joy, definitely.
It was very joyful. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you.
Thank you so much.
To add something?
Yes, but Defne left. Okay, then thank you, everybody, all the audience as well. Okay, so good evening, everyone.
Bye.